I grew up in a small town where people judged you by how much money your family had, what kind of car your dad drove, or how big your house was. And in my case, we didn't have much. My parents worked hard, but there was always this sense that I wasn't enough, especially from my mom. For as long as I can remember, she compared me to other kids. Look at James, he's top of his class. See how Emily got into a great college? And then she'd look at me, her son who dreamed of doing things differently. I wasn't the perfect student. I didn't want to be a doctor or a lawyer or anything traditional. I wanted to build things, businesses, ideas. But every time I shared a dream, my mom laughed. You? Successful? You can't even keep your room clean. You'll never be anything. Her words stuck with me, echoing in my head late at night. When I turned 18, I left home with nothing but a backpack and a stubborn determination to prove her wrong. I didn't go to college like she wanted. Instead, I worked small jobs, waiting tables, delivering groceries, cleaning offices. Every penny I saved, I poured into learning about business. I read books, watched lectures, and studied how companies worked. People laughed at me, just like my mom did. They said I was crazy, that I'd never make it. But I kept going. One day, while working at a coffee shop, I overheard two businessmen talking about an app idea they couldn't figure out. Something clicked in my head. That night, I stayed up until morning sketching out how it could work. Months later, I built it with the help of a freelance programmer I found online. The app took off. It wasn't just small success, it exploded. Investors came in. Money started flowing, and before I knew it, I was no longer the kid my mom doubted. I was the secret owner of a company worth billions. But here's the thing. I didn't tell her. Not yet. Years passed. I lived quietly, driving an old car, wearing simple clothes. No one suspected I was behind one of the fastest-growing companies in the country. Not even my family. Then came the reunion. My cousin was getting married, and my entire family, including my mom, would be there. I hadn't seen them in years. At the wedding, my mom spotted me across the hall. She shook her head in disappointment. Still dressing like that? Still, wasting your life away? She muttered. She didn't know. She had no idea that the lavish wedding venue, the gourmet meals, the open bar, all of it was paid for by me. See, the groom was one of my closest friends from college, a friend who knew the truth. When he asked me for help, I covered the entire wedding cost, millions of dollars. And my mom? She was sitting there, eating food off plates that I paid for, sipping champagne I had bought, criticizing me as if I was still a failure. I smiled, quietly, because for once I didn't need her approval. But then something happened that changed everything. The groom stood up to give a toast. He looked at me, raised his glass and said, "Tonight wouldn't even be possible without the generosity of someone very special. The man who secretly owns one of the biggest companies in America, my best friend." All eyes turned to me. The room went silent. My mom's jaw dropped. She stared at me, eyes wide, unable to process what she'd just heard. Gasps filled the room as whispers spread. People pulled out their phones, searching my name, connecting the dots. And suddenly, the kid who was never going to be successful was the man everyone wanted to talk to. After the speeches, my mom approached me, her hands trembling. "Why didn't you tell me?" she asked. I looked at her, remembering all those years of doubt. The word she had used to cut me down. Because I didn't need you to believe in me. I needed to believe in myself. Her eyes filled with tears. For the first time, she didn't have a comeback. No criticism, no sarcasm, just silence. And in that silence, I realized something powerful. Success isn't about proving others wrong. It's about proving yourself right. Today, my company is worth billions. But the real victory wasn't the money. It was learning that the people who doubt you don't define you. Their words only have power if you let them. And now, every time I look at my mom, I don't feel anger anymore. I feel gratitude. Because without her doubts, I might never have pushed so hard to succeed. So, to anyone out there who's been told you'll never make it, remember this. Your story isn't written by them, it's written by you.